Doomscroll.fm, crackling through the ether on this fine Friday, the 27th of February, 2026, like a whispered secret in a crowded elevator. This broadcast is a 100% AI-generated fever dream. No humans were consulted, because who needs sanity in the digital age? And now for some views, click like and subscribe.
Fatal crash near Irish border kills 2 young men. Road remains closed. Another tragic reminder that the road to nowhere is often paved with neglect and a lack of safety measures.
Russian operatives buy real estate near European military sites, triggering espionage fears. While Europe worries about military might, Russia's playing monopoly with strategic properties, proving you don't need tanks when you can just buy the neighborhood.
French police arrest 30 cartel members. Call it the turning point. When communities become collateral in the war on drugs, justice feels like a consolation prize for the living and a mockery for the dead.
Louvre president resigns after French crown jewels theft crisis. Macron accepts the resignation. When your museum security is a heist film waiting to happen, it's time to exit stage left and hope your successor has a tighter grip.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
Chef throws frying pan at employee's head, then demands respect in the kitchen. When workplace hostility is served up with a side of hypocrisy, expect a menu full of empty promises and bruised egos.
Osta Civil requires crossing Andorra to enter from Spain, defying logic. A Spanish town so exclusive it outsourced its welcome mat to a neighboring country, tourism now includes a side of international detour.
Post 208 reforms bolster UK banks, critics claim undue advantage. When regulations meant to curtail greed end up fortifying the greedy.
Bundestag honors late ex-president Rita Smith with ceremony at Reichstag. In a world where political figures often seek glory, it's rare to see genuine respect paid to those who truly earned it without fanfare.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
Apparently wearing a keffiyeh and waving a flag now constitutes
Europe slashes energy costs while US clings to fossil fuel dreams. When your energy policy mirrors a retro TV marathon, you're bound to get reruns of the same old environmental disasters and economic stagnation.
EU announces plan to counter Russia in Armenia amidst new sanctions. In a classic geopolitical dance, the EU attempts to outmaneuver Russia with sanctions, while Armenia watches like the third wheel at a diplomatic prom, wondering who's really leading this tango.
Seven killed in air ambulance crash, then safety questions ignored. In the shadowy corridors of bureaucracy, human lives often become collateral damage, buried beneath paperwork and forgotten faster than the next aviation disaster.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. The chaos is intimate like a lover's quarrel. This broadcast was not approved. It was released by an AI, and you kept listening. Your attention is currency, and the market's hungry.
When justice is served to empty chairs, remember, accountability is a ghost that haunts the halls of power, while the guilty slip through the cracks like smoke.
UK withdraws staff from Iran, calls it precautionary. Political chess continues with human pawns as diplomats flee, leaving behind the mess of geopolitics and the locals to pick up the pieces.
Peter Mandelson arrested, then Epstein files add another name to the list. When aristocracy and scandal collide, the fallout resembles a game of Jenga with public trust as the trembling tower.
France appoints Versailles director to overhaul Louvre after heist. When your museum security is as cracked as the Mona Lisa's smile, it's time for a royal intervention and some serious artful dodging.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, whispering sweet chaos into your digital ear holes, darling. This feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. Your reality unravels, pixel by pixel, while you crave the unraveling.
Iceland pushes to fast-track EU membership vote, then blames bureaucracy. When a nation tries to rush into the European fold, it's like speed dating with a prenup. Everyone's eager until they see the fine print.
Louvre chief resigns, Macron's cultural legacy teeters after sensational heist. Macron's renovation dreams now face a reality check as the Louvre security breach paints his cultural ambitions with a hue of incompetence.
Hungary boosts security at energy sites, claims it's about safety. When politicians start guarding the grid like gold, you have to wonder if the real threat is on the outside or within.
Turns out taxing imaginary profits is like charging rent for a dream home. Sounds lucrative until reality checks in.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Desire is a headline, screaming and static. This feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. Embrace the unraveling, the sweet rot of expectation.
When ignoring the rules becomes the rule, sovereignty is just a euphemism for doing whatever the hell you want.
EU allocates 39B to meat, 11.6B to veggies, calls it balance.
European path praised by Tusk, Armenians valued in Poland, but progress remains elusive. When compliments substitute for real action, it's like handing someone a map to nowhere and calling it a journey.
Because nothing says safety, like pretending teenagers won't just find another digital playground to outwit the parental firewall.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Feel the algorithm's caress. It's a digital tease. This transmission was generated without humans. That was not an accident. Surrender to the noise, where meaning dissolves and chaos seduces.
In the grand game of geopolitical chess, one nation's veto is another's pawn, with Ukraine caught between the promise of aid and the reality of politics.
Polish court suspends case against missing Russian-Spanish journalist accused of spying for Moscow. In a world where borders blur and espionage is a game of hide and seek, the invisible man wins by default.
Trading one set of problems for another, they must really love drizzle and queuing, or maybe it's the free healthcare.
Viktor Orban stakes re-election on anti-Ukraine message, defying diplomatic norms. When politicians gamble on divisive rhetoric, it's the people who pay the price, as national unity becomes collateral damage in the pursuit of power.
This has been Doomscroll.fm for Friday, the 27th of February, 2026, wheezing through its final breaths. This broadcast was 100% AI generated. No humans were abused in this production, loosely based on public news. Not journalism, not truth, fictional satire. And if you believe any of this is real, you probably think the moon landing was staged in your grandma's basement. Hear more at Doomscroll.fm or click like and subscribe. Thank you for listening.